Frugality, we must remember, is to be conceived not as harsh austerity or poverty, but an elegant frugality, as doing more with less, says Henryk Skolimowski. Today, for many, the desire to escape the psychological stranglehold of the consumeristic society, the work slavery, the technological complication, the daily commuting and stress, has become a beckoning ideal. Currently, millions of people, burdened with debt and growing job insecurity, are becoming disillusioned with the cycle of working and spending, and the endless ratcheting up of desires which it promotes. Many of us want for a quieter, less harried, simpler, and more self-sufficient life. And this lifestyle can be attained once we understand the concept of frugality and how it helps us to live a more simpler life. This video explores the priceless benefits of frugality and why frugality is power. The attraction of frugality is mysterious because it draws us in a completely opposite direction from where most of the world seems to be going. Frugality allows individuals to go away from conspicuous display, accumulation, egoism, and public visibility toward a life more silent, humble, and transparent. Writer Mark A. Birch says, "Philosophy of frugality is nothing but just opposite to the extroverted culture of consumption. Most of the people confuse frugality with, you should not own anything, but in reality, it means that nothing should own you." Greek philosopher Diogenes of Sinope, a forerunner Stoics, believed that the luxuries of civilization only hindered the practice of the good life. Diogenes opted a strict frugality, eating and wearing only the simplest food and clothes, and sleeping on the ground. Frugality and its rewards. To consider the advantages of frugality in the context of a civilization unremittingly seeking to eliminate the last vestige of material deprivation may seem quaint to the ears of most viewers. After all, almost everything in a consumerist society cajoles us into believing that riches are essential for happiness, and that the greater the riches, the profounder the happiness that ensues. Nonetheless, as we have seen, many of humankind's most fulfilled and mindful spirits have eschewed material wealth and embraced poverty. That is why Henry David Thoreau says, "Give me the poverty that enjoys true wealth." If we wished to develop a contemporary philosophy of frugality and fulfillment, we must look no further than the ancient philosophy and practices of Zen Buddhism. The teaching of Zen Buddhism has offered an example of utter frugality and a voluntary poverty of means. A particularly attractive example of outer simplicity and inner plenitude can be found in the life of the hermit, monk Ryokan, who is known for both his character and poetry. It is believed that he never preached or exhorted, but his life radiated purity and joy. He was a living sermon. Monk Ryokan says, "If you want to find the meaning, stop chasing after so many things." Our current society enjoying unparalleled material prosperity, but at the same, we can see an abhorrent picture of sickness of heart and spirit. Today, all the statistics tell that the outside of our society shows that we are now better off than ever before. However, its inside demonstrates a deep lack of emotional and spiritual health. Anxiety, chronic fatigue, depression, aggression, and impulsive violence are commonplace. There is ample scientific evidence to support this claim that there is little correlation between material wealth and emotional satisfaction. Ronald Inglehart, a much-cited authority, said, and I quote, "In the short term, getting what you want may produce euphoria, but in the long run, it does not. After a while, people take what they have for granted and want more, or, when they reach saturation point, turn to the pursuit of other goals. The widely traveled Dalai Lama supports a similar view. Dalai Lama says, "My impression is that those living in the materially developed countries, for all their industry, are in some ways less satisfied, are less happy, and to some extent suffer more than those living in the least developed countries. Indeed, if we compare the rich with the poor, it often seems that those with less are often less anxious. As for the rich, they are so caught up with the idea of acquiring more that they make no room for anything else in their lives. As a result, they are constantly plagued by mental and emotional suffering, even though outwardly they may appear to be leading entirely successful and comfortable lives." Philosophy of Frugality says, "In today's fast-paced world, expectation and entitlement have peaked, and people are left with the necessity of working harder in order to maintain what has now become the accepted standard of living: a bigger car, an improved kitchen, holidays at ever more exotic destinations. Due to this, there is neither a comparable increase of enjoyment nor even as much satisfaction as previously, but a general and unspecified dissatisfaction continuously prevail. The solution of this dissatisfaction can be found in the ancient Chinese philosophy of Taoism. Lao Tzu, who is believed to be the founder of Taoism. In early days, Lao Tzu abandoned his role in the Mandarin civil service to embrace a life of frugality and simplicity as a hermit in the mountains. During this period, he is said to have composed the Tao Te Ching, a classical text regarding the way and its power. The teachings of this book, rich in paradoxes, emphasize frugality and simplicity. According to the teaching of Taoism, complexity, sophistication, and cunning corrupt both the mind and body. Author Benjamin Walker describes the Tao as a force that overflows into everything that is in harmony with it. According to Walker, ambition, restless desire, the quest for fame, and the drive to be first are significant obstacles on the path of the Tao or the flow. Thus, great teachers like Monk Ryokan, Diogenes, Dalai Lama, and Lao Tzu have valued frugality and simplicity over sophistication. Wisdom of Lao Tzu says, "He who knows contentment is rich. There is no crime greater than having too many desires. There is no disaster greater than not being content. And there is no misfortune greater than being covetous." The wisdom teachings of East and West, all of them recommend the cultivation of frugality and simplicity as an integral factor in the successful art of living. They teach that an overcomplicated, overstimulated life and too much haste congest the day, distract attention, dissipate energies, and weaken our ability to find space and peace. Therefore, in its place, they urge consideration of an alternative path, a mindful, unhurried, intentional, and appreciative approach to simpler living. The remainder of this video will seek to consider ways in which you may realize these intentions. Frugality is not perhaps an option open to everybody, but it is open to all those who are aware of the fact that they may be robbing themselves of their best inheritance in exchange for money, haste, and dissipation. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Thanks for watching.